Here we go. Herd hierarchy, top 10 teams in the league. Fire away.
Herd hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin. Number 10.
Let's not overreact to Jacksonville. They've won 13 of their last 18 games. They still have a star quarterback. When ATN scores, they win. He didn't. They didn't. They have 18 takeaways this year. Offensive coach. I still think they're a bit of a rebuilding roster. But, you know, they can't beat the Chiefs, and they were hammered by San Francisco. But I still think they're a top 10 team in the league.
Number 9.
Seattle. Schedule gets really rough. They got the Niners, Cowboys, Niners again, Eagles coming up. But 2 of their losses have been to the Bengals and the Ravens. So you can lose to good teams. I do think Geno Smith has gotten a bit turnover prone. Did not have a turnover for the first time since week 4. I don't see Geno as a guy that hoists a trophy. I don't see the Seahawks as a Super Bowl team, but 9 feels fitting.
Number 8.
Cleveland. Listen, they were missing their 3 best offensive tackles against the Ravens, and they won. And they're 3-1. Let's give them credit against the Niners, Bengals, and Ravens. So they're beating good teams. And Deshaun Watson, as a starter, is 5-1. And there were multiple moments in that game where you were like, okay, if that's what I get with Deshaun Watson, this is going to be a playoff team. He's good. Now, I don't feel he's quite what he was at his prime, but it's like Russell Wilson. I see some of it. Like last night with Russell. I saw a lot of it. With Deshaun this past weekend, second half, 14-14. I saw it, so I have Cleveland at 8.
Number 7.
Dallas at 7. Again, they played the easiest schedule in the NFL so far. All 6 wins against teams with currently a losing record. They have this tied for the most penalties in the league. I don't trust them situationally. They're very good at home, so-so on the road. That's why I won't put them higher. I think they're incredibly predictable, incredibly reliant on CeeDee Lamb, who's great now, has become an absolute top 6-7 guy in the league, number 1. Cowboys at 7.
Number 6.
But I trust Detroit more because I think they have more players at a high level in their prime, not as reliant on one-star receiver. 2 backs I like. 15-4 last 19 games. This defense was awful last year. It's a top 10 defense. Don't love their defense on the back end, but I really like Detroit. I think they're going to host a playoff game, and I think they're going to win a home playoff game, at least one.
Number 5.
Bengals are a bit beat up on their defensive front, and that worries me. But Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, this offensive staff, pretty good, right? He leads the NFL in completion percentage week 5 on, 74%. I'm sorry, I'm taking the points and the hook, 3.5 against the Ravens. I don't care about their injury situation. I trust Burrow in big spots. Let's not go crazy. If Boyd catches that ball in the end zone, they probably win. Cincy at 5.
Number 4.
Don't freak out with Baltimore, although there is a disturbing trend. They become a bad fourth quarter team because of turnovers, but they're the number 1 rushing offense and the number 1 scoring defense. They should have beaten Pittsburgh, but there were drop passes, and they probably should have beaten the Colts. In the end, their defense allows the lowest passer rating in the NFL. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. Baltimore at 4.
Number 3.
Maybe I've got Philadelphia low, but they've lost the turnover battle in 4 of the 5 games. They just sort of grind you down. They're so deep. The story of this team is Jalen Hurts and this general manager. I don't know what bank they're using, but they just keep adding good players. They wear you down. And I'll say this organization's just better when it counts. They've beaten 12 straight teams with winning records in the regular season. Like, that's the opposite of the Cowboys. They are often their best in the big games. Dallas is their best against the lousy teams.
Number 2.
When healthy, it's the best roster in the NFL easily. Trent Williams, Debo back. They annihilate Jacksonville. I know Brock Purdy. That's why I don't have him number 1. But I mean, even compared to the other top teams in the league, they have literally Pro Bowlers on every unit. Every single one outside of maybe quarterback and cornerback. And when they get Trent Williams, they win. Debo, Christian McCaffrey, healthy. They may not be as the year progresses. They do have a team with a lot of physical players. Debo, McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Kittle, Bosa. Those guys may not be healthy at the end of the year. But when they are, give me a break. They're completely stacked.
Number 1.
Well, it's an interim year. A lot of interim coaches and interim quarterbacks. This could be an interim choice for me. I don't know how long it'll last. But they're the best team in the league. Situationally great. By the way, they're coming off a bye. Andy Reid's 27-4 off a bye, including the playoffs. So they'll win this coming week. Here's the thing that worries me, though. In the second half this season, they're the worst scoring offense. So the thing with them is, what's that mean is, they can't be the old Chiefs where they can get behind 21-3. And they're not going to put you away. What they need to do is get a lead. That isn't the Chiefs generally that have won a Super Bowl. They didn't need a lead. They just needed the ball late. This team has to play a certain way. They've got to take a lead. They can't be sloppy. The good news is it's the best defense Mahomes has ever had. It'll get better as it gets healthier. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.